Here we go with another uncomplicated shoot 'em up. Okay, B-Wings does have a few tricks under its belt. It is the first Famicom game published by Data East, though not the first one developed by them. And appropriate to this game's title, they never really get higher than B tier. It doesn't help that it seems like Namco had the pick of the litter when it came to Data East games. Data East, despite publishing 22 games on the system, winds up just being one of those publishers that are there. Not a strong enough brand or good series to care about, but not awful enough to really work up some hate for either. B-Wings is actually a perfect example of a Data East game. There's some decent ideas in it, but they're not implemented very well, and in the end, it's eh. Let's get the compliment out of the way first. B-Wings has an impressive array of weapons that you choose from at the start of the game. There are 10 standard wings that you can attach to your ship. They're all distinctive and have special uses. What happens as you play is that the game gives you the weapon appropriate to the situation that you're about to enter. So if you're about to get attacked from the side a lot, it gives you a weapon that shoots out to the side. That reduces the tactical importance of the weapon selection, but having it available is still pretty neat. The cannon is the easiest one to understand. 3 bullets straight forward. Though why one of them looks like a heart, I don't know. It's actually one of the better choices since it does have a pretty high rate of fire. Wide shot shoots a spread of 5 bullets, but the entire spread goes away when one of them hits something. And a lot of things don't register hits coming in from weird angles. Multi puts more firepower forward, but every time you shoot, the angle of the outside shots changes. They rotate down to the side. Inconsistent behavior isn't a good choice for a weapon, so I don't like this one very much. Van is one of the stranger ones. It's the wide shot, but it only goes out about a ship length. It actually winds up being better than wide because you can fire it very rapidly. Side shot adds a spread of fire to both sides of your craft. It's useful in some situations. Similarly, anti shoots behind you. Presumably it's short for antipodal. Hammer is a pretty good one. It adds some swirling balls around your craft to protect you, plus you still get to shoot forward. With jump, one of your forward shots goes through things and then explodes at a fixed distance. It is 100% required for certain points in the game. Dyna fires out a crescent in front of your ship that passes through most targets. It has a limited range, but I find that it's usually more than enough. And finally, fire is a good old flamethrower. Nothing wrong with that as a gun. There's also 3 secret weapons, though I never managed to collect those. In battle, the A button fires the gun, and the B button launches your wings off, reducing you to a basic ship. There's no reason to do this unless you have another power-up already coming in. The basic ship has a very slow rate of fire, but it does have one special trick. Pressing B sends the ship into a dive which gets underneath most enemies and their shots. If you have wings attached to your ship and you get hit, you're reduced to the basic ship. Weapon pickups come in 3 forms. The first are these platforms that are locked in a certain weapon type. You have to shoot off the escorts before they float away, and then latch onto the wings that they drop. Then there's these flying letters. Picking one up will change your wings to that weapon, and shooting them rotates through which weapon it's for. Finally, there's this symbol which is pretty confusing to use. If you shoot it a couple times, it turns into an umbrella, which doesn't do you any good. But if you collect the symbol, then when you pause the game, you can press select to rotate through the weapons. B-Wings has 30 stages, and I think by this point you can tell that they're all very similar. You get a wave of enemies, then a wave of blocks you have to shoot through, another wave of enemies, another wave of blocks, and then missiles come down and you fight a boss. There's actually 11 different bosses in the game, 10 of them repeat, and the last one only appears on the final stage. Most of the bosses require that you shoot out the things blocking their weak point, though this one requires that you have the jump weapon to be able to place the bullet directly on them. There's also a couple of animal bosses which are kind of odd. One of the stranger things in B-Wings is that your shots shoot enemy bullets out of the air. It can be a bit annoying with some weapons that stop short when that happens, but it's absolutely vital on the bosses where you'll probably have to shoot through their bullets to get at them. The last thing to mention in B-Wings is that this game is slow. We've seen a few shoot-em-ups lately that have some really slow craft, and in B-Wings it really feels like your ship is stuck in molasses. I really wish B-Wings was a better shoot-em-up. The weapon selection mechanic is actually pretty cool, and most of the bosses are pretty neat, even if they wind up feeling kind of the same. But those stages are just so boring. What B-Wings really needed was a little bit more energy than what we got out of the game.